It says it's live.
Okay, so now we're going to go to...
I learned all this stuff from my son. Like, my son taught me all this.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've never bounced back and forth. So let's see.
Yeah.
Let me find the link. There it is. Here. Let's get this stuff rolling. I will share a new one.
That's your Etsy.
It is.
I was on Etsy a long time. I know their noises.
Let's see. Bring us your question. Here we go. Oh. Let's see how this goes. Ba-bum.
Yeah, we done?
So what are some topics that you have been that you've been thinking about talking about? I know you have a hard time coming up with some because you have spoken about so much stuff.
I just don't, like, I don't know what people want to see, you know? I find myself boring, so I don't know. So I always ask people what they want to see. Now, someone had a really good idea to do the ABCs of herbs, and I'm like, I'm going to get on this bandwagon, because not only can I share herbs I know, but then I can also learn about new herbs in the process.
Oh, yeah.
So I started that. I'm up to C. I just haven't edited them yet.
Right. See, and I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Herbs. I'm seeing so many herbs I don't even know about yet, so I'm excited about it.
I have herbs are one of the things that I think is one of my strong points as far as, I don't know, I'm passionate about plants, as you probably know at this point.
Yes. I am too. I'm just like, I've always, like, my goal in life was to be able to look at every leaf and every twig and know exactly what it is and what it can do for you. But of course, I don't think that would be possible in a lifetime, and how busy I am, but I do my best.
Yeah. Well, you know, there are so many plants, but really, I think what I've ended up doing is finding plant families, and finding out where they sit as far as medicinally and energetically. So like you have, but there's so many in there that there's nuanced. They're nuanced. But so like the mint family, you know, you've got the rose family, which, you know, is very interesting. I found out that, did you know that raspberries are in the rose family? I had no idea.
No, I didn't know that, but it seems like somebody tried to tell me that in the comments before. And also, you have a ginger mint plant, don't you?
I do.
I never even knew that was a thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So ginger mint. I have five varieties of mint back there. So the ginger mint is one of the best for when it comes to like stomach upset, because it's not actually ginger. They call it ginger because it has a almost like a peppery bite to it.
Okay.
But it's really good when it comes to.
Does it come by another name as well? Because I know a lot of plants also have multiple names.
Yeah, ginger mint. You know, I will have to look it up and find out. In fact, I've got my phone right here. I can do that. Because I know I've got ginger mint and I've got a chocolate mint, which is way cool because it's very.
I love chocolate mint. Yep. This will be my first year so far. I haven't planted chocolate mint in like my life.
Let's see. Ginger mint. Let me find out. Scientific name. So it's Mentha gracilis is the scientific name. It's also known as red mint, Scotch mint in Europe, and Scotch peppermint.
Okay.
So like a red mint,
Yeah.
I guess. And I see why they would call it that, because the leaves they're green, and then the outer edges of the leaves and the stems have kind of a reddish tint to it. So that would make sense they'd call it red mint. Okay, I'm going back to YouTube now.
That's very cool.
So I love it. I think it's great. And then I've got ginger mint, I've got spearmint, I've got peppermint, and then I've got that big mojito mint, which still hasn't reached its full size yet. But you know, speaking of full size, my lemon balm leaves are like the size of my palm, the big ones. Remember you were talking about you?
Don't you love how oily they are and how like, oh my, I love lemon balm. I love lemon balm.
Oh, me too.
I told you how I've always gotten mine. I've always stolen from somebody's
Oh
yard.
yeah.
I've never purchased lemon balm.
Well, it's
and you know it comes back.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. This was okay. Good. Yeah. So I actually started lemon balm. It was about 5 years ago, I think, maybe 6, and I started it from seed, and it has spread all over my garden at this point. Same with the mugwort; that's kind of traveled all over, and then the mints. I have to keep them in under control, or
Well, I bet that lemon balm helps you with your the lemon mint helps you a lot with the mosquitoes.
Yes,
that's why I loved it.
You're breaking up
I think I have a delay, don't I?
Just a little bit, not too bad. Yeah, it helps with mosquitoes. There's so much you can do with lemon balm. One of my favorite things is I'll take lemon balm after I harvest it when it's still fresh, and I rinse it off, and then I'll chop it into little pieces, or I'll use 2 or 3 leaves and I'll put it in an ice cube tray and freeze the ice cubes, and then I pop that into whatever drink that I happen to be drinking at the time. It's really good, like in lemonade or an iced tea, and you get the medicinal value of the lemon balm and the flavor, so it's really good.
It's unfortunate for me because it kind of messes with my tummy, so I can't drink it.
Oh no!
Yeah, it sucks because like I love it so much, but I can't ingest it unless I'm going to be close to a toilet.
So it has its purpose. It's just not an everyday thing.
Yeah. Maybe I would lose some weight if I drank it, every couple of days. It'll help me lose some weight.
Yeah. Well, the other things that I use it for is I'll put it in lip balm. So it's really good in lip balm. It's great. You can use put it in witch hazel, and you can make an astringent for your skin. It's great for. It doesn't seem to get rid of them, but it diminishes some of the dark spots on my skin anyways. It's really good in soap. I mean, there's so many uses for it. Keep the insects away. The other thing,
really great plant.
The other thing that keeps the insects away is pennyroyal. Have you ever grown pennyroyal?
I've never grown it, but I know that that's one of the ones that the only thing that I've grown to keep pests away is obviously lemon balm and all my mints would keep at the other house, kept the spiders at bay. Mm-hmm. This house that we're at, we have nothing planted yet, just little things here and there, and the spiders are like sleeping with us.
You got to make friends with the spiders.
So I really need to get on planting. Yeah, but way out in the country, they're like this.
They're carrying the dogs off and shit.
Yeah, and the scorpions. The other day, the cat was playing with the scorpion. It was like this big, and I'm like, "What the hell are you playing with?" And I seen the tail up like this. I'm like, "Oh Lord, okay, here we go."
God. You're like, cat. Okay, so there's a funny. Well, when I was a kid, Should I share this story? Yeah, screw it.
I don't know. It's your child.
When I was a little kid, I think I was, no, I couldn't have been little. I was 14, I think. I went camping, and I was always the weird kid growing up. You know, I had spiders as pets. You know, I was the strange one. I always loved snakes and lizards, and so we went camping, and I found some just teeny tiny scorpions. They were little. This was in California, out by, I think it was close to Yosemite National Park, but I found these little scorpions and I brought them home because I thought they were cute, you know, and they're just little. Well, evidently, I put them in like a 5-gallon tank, glass enclosure with a, you know, the lid and stuff, and just trying to figure it out, see how I can take care of these things. Anyways, evidently one laid eggs or something, and I ended up with a shit ton of scorpions, a bunch of them.
Wow.
My mother, God love her, my mother is an amazing woman, but she does not like certain things. She doesn't like snakes. She has a real hard time with snakes, scorpions, tarantulas. She's okay with lizards as long as they're not too big. So she came in, and this tank was in our guest room. She came in one day and she saw the ground. It looked like the ground was just kind of moving. And she looked real close. And she was like, oh my God, Nikki, which is my nickname. Growing up, everyone called me Nikki. She's like, what? They've reproduced. They're everywhere. So yeah, I fed them and I took care of them for quite some time. And they ate each other, you know, they just kind of thinned the herd, I guess. And we ended up, I think it was probably 5 or 6 months later, we ended up going on an overnight trip somewhere, and we had moths because we had birds. You know how bird seed will attract the little tiny moths? So we had,
used to have a lot of birds.
Yeah, we had these little moths, and they come in the seed. It's hard to keep away from them, keep them away. But anyways, so she bombed the house with a bug bomb. And she forgot to cover or remove this cage. She didn't tell me she was bombing the house.
Yeah.
I was unaware that was happening. So I came home after this trip, and we're on our way back. And she said, well, when we get home, we're going to have to open up all the windows, wash the dishes, because I bug bombed the house. And I went, Mom, did you cover the scorpions? Because I also had something else at the time. And that one was saved. The scorpions, however, weren't. And it was really kind of funny because I think it was like a whoops on accident, kind of.
Yeah, because they're scorpions. They're still scorpions. Yeah. Now my son is a 15-year-old. He is so allergic. I mean, as he's gotten older, it's better, and he's got his EpiPen and stuff. But he's so allergic to everything, and it's why we didn't move to the country when we first were looking for a house when he was a baby, because he was so allergic. He almost lost his arm when he was like 3 due to my mom got a new dog, and her dog had fleas, and he got like about 15 bites on his arm, and he was so allergic to fleas that if we had waited to the next morning to take him to the doctor, then he would have lost his arm. He was just so badly allergic to everything. He's gotten stronger in time. Now he can get bit by an ant and not get fever.
Mm-hmm. This is your youngest?
Yes, it's the youngest.
Poor kid. Oh man.
So it's better now, but he's you know, I have to be careful if we see scorpions. We have to make sure that we get rid of them. And we put the peppermint oils out and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just that property was never lived in.
Oh, so yeah.
We're invading their space, you know, so it's not as bad as it could be.
Right. Well, they got to figure out, they need to figure out that, you know, they're not the only inhabitants anymore. I'm plugging in because I'm too dark. Oh. There we go. Much better.
Now we're making stuff happen.
I had my computer plugged in. I've got so much crap plugged in over here.
I was going to move this, and since the traffic has stopped, I'm going to move this. Look, you're looking right up my face. I'm sorry if you see up my nose. But since the traffic has stopped for a minute, I was going to relocate this, and now it's moved. So now I got to hold you for a minute. Until we stop again. I'm going to move it to this side. so to be on this side,
Mm-hmm.
because I would prefer it to be on the right side of me, but
It's a lot easier to do.
I never remember until I'm in the car and I'm like, damn, I really need to do that. And I just never do.
So
Good.
one thing that I wanted to talk to you about, I was curious. You did a video a long time ago. Gosh, it's been 2 or 3 years. And I don't know. It seems to me a lot of people think that.
It's a good angle. Okay, I'm sorry.
Look at that. That's a great angle.
That's a really good angle.
Yeah, it is.
Like the chin looks, not so doubly.
Yep, and you're even safe because the seat belt crosses over here, so there's no looking down your shirt. It's awesome.
This is
Awesome
perfect.
angle. Yes. So there was a video you did, and it was on shadow work. Shoot, 3 years ago, I think, maybe. God, I don't know. I have no concept of time anymore. I'm just getting old. But that's a topic that
I know we covered it a few times in Spirit Talk, and I think I did a video on it.
Now, would that be something that you would be interested in elaborating on as far as answering any questions, or is that? It seems to be a weird topic currently amongst people. What do you think?
It really has gotten to the point where people are almost angry when other witches share that they think it's important to do shadow work. There's a lot of witches out there who are like, how dare you? Because I get the concept of mental health issues and having to bring up, if you were molested as a child, and having to bring all that stuff back out, and it dealing with your mental health. But whenever we talk about topics, we're generalizing.
Yeah.
I was bullied. Mm-hmm. You can definitely go in soft with your shadow work, and then yes, some other stuff may come up. It just happens. Mm-hmm. But I think it's important, and I've been hearing a few people say that to not do it, and it confuses me because it's basically therapy for witches.
Yeah, well, witch or no witch, I think
we have to get through.
Witch or no witch, I think is very important I think personally, and this is just my opinion, and it's just me, but I think that shadow work for anybody is important because, so as far as, shadow work is one of those things that understanding the shadow side of yourself, whatever it is that creates the shadow side, and the shadow side is that stuff that you ignore or suppress or push down, whatever it is, memories or experiences, because they've made you feel in some way negative. Just to clear that up. But, and that's, in my opinion, just like the short version. Did I lose you? There you are. You're still moving.
Okay, I was like, where did I go? All of a sudden we were both not on the screen. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. You're driving. So I think that addressing those things that you don't want to address because they're uncomfortable, whatever they may be, I think is important because it allows you to have more, I guess, more emotional, they call it emotional maturity. So it allows you to cope and deal with stressors or uncomfortable situations in your life better, because you don't have your own bullshit coming back up and resurfacing. So as a standard normal human that doesn't practice, I think that's important. But as far as a witch goes, I think it is doubly important because so much of what we do is focused on intent. And if you cannot focus your brain on the intent at hand, it's very difficult to have a successful working happening. So I don't know. What do you think?
No, I feel the same way, and I've actually mentioned that before, where I feel that if you feel that you think your magic is being hindered for some reason, you can't really figure out what's going on. A lot of times, either it's shadow work that's needed, especially when you find yourself getting really angry or really sad in
Mm-hmm.
certain situations. There's something you can't suppress forever.
Right.
You can't. Like, I mean, you could, but it's not going to be a good time for
Suppressing
you at all.
suppressing doesn't, I don't know, and this is my experience because I for a long time I had one of my best friends who's no longer with us. um he passed away in 2014, but he called me the Queen of Denial, and it was like a nickname that he had for me because he said, I don't understand how you do this. You will actually make a decision in your mind about something, and that is the reality that you have, even though it's completely wrong. You are the Queen of Denial. And so I had to do a lot of digging and shadow work after his passing because he was very right. He really was. And so digging and sifting and and I'm much happier now than I was, and everything that I do is more potent, it seems. So
Isn't it just so funny? And it's not a good experience when someone points out a characteristic of yourself that you don't really know, and it's not a really good one, and then it makes you think, and you realize, okay, I need to dig deep in and see what's going on, because I don't like this part of me. I know
yeah.
I've done that a lot in the last 2 decades. Like, if you
Hmm.
knew me in my 20s versus me now, it's not even the same person.
I'm
Not
not
even the same person.
I'm not either. Well, yeah, it's what my husband calls blind spots, and they're called blind spots because you don't know that they're there. You have no idea until somebody points it out to you.
Yeah.
And
And and now that I'm older and I've done tons of shadow work throughout my life, when I am in a space, because I'm a Capricorn, I'm a boss, I run my house, and I run, we have that side business, my shop. So I go, and sometimes I go into bitch mode. And I don't mean to. It's just like, we got to get this done. We got to get this done. We got to get this done.
yep,
And I've always told my people that I work with, I'm like, all you got to do is tell me. Because who I am now, all you got to do is let me know.
yep.
You know? And they'll tell me, hey, you're just being a little bit bitchy today. You know? And I literally will stop and reflect on that. Now, where 20 years ago, I'd be like, what? Oh, excuse me? You want to take this outside? Whole different person. Whole different person. And it has a lot to do with all the healing I've done in life.
Right, right. Yeah. Well, see, and it's funny because my family calls it mom's work mode. They said, "Oh, don't bother her. She's in work mode." And I get into these states where I'm so focused on what I'm doing, and for some reason, I don't know, nothing I ever do is that important. It's not like I'm an open heart surgeon. It's not like I'm
Right? It's like that.
what I'm doing. But for some reason in that moment, good God, that floor is dirty and it's driving me insane and it needs to be done yesterday. So
Yeah.
I get into these really weird focused modes. And even though my kids have grown up and moved out, my husband will still walk up to me and he'll say, how you doing? I'm like, I'm fine. He's like, are you? Because this house is really clean.
Yeah.
He said, because you're mopping the ceiling in the bathroom, honey. I'm just curious if you're okay.
It needed it.
Have you seen the accumulation of crap on the ceiling?
Okay. I can talk back, because I will get down on the floor, because I can walk in the house and smell if something's not right. And I literally will get on my knees, and I'm like a hound dog. Yeah, I will walk in, and if my house smells good, everybody's like, your house smells so good. But I can walk in my house and tell you if someone had an accident. I mean, I got 7 dogs, 6 cats. It happens
Oh,
from
yeah.
time to time. Even if it's vomit, like, I know. I'll walk in the house.
So my husband, he says that I've got the nose of like a wolfhound or something, because I will smell something, and I do. It's the funniest thing, because I'm walking around my house and I'm going, and I'm rolling through and I'm following the scent, and he's just like, what the hell are you doing? It's like, I smell something. And the most recent situation was we had a mouse problem for a little while last winter, December, I think. And so I had to set up mouse traps, and I had 8 of them set up around the house. And it was about a day to a day and a half after I put the peanut butter on the traps. And I walked in the house and I smelled this. It was very faint, but I could smell it. And when it comes to that sort of smell, when something has passed on, I can't handle even a faint smell of it. I got to track it down. So I tracked it down, and it was in the basement. And my husband was kind of blown away because he's like, what the, you smelled that? It's been 18 hours and you could smell that from the basement?
Rats have a distinct smell, though. To me, they do. Working in apartments and then, you know, living in the country when I was younger and then now as I'm older, like, we've had rat situations, and I'm the same way about like, I can smell a rat. I can smell a rat. Like, it doesn't have to be rotten. I can smell a rat.
In more ways than one, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, there it is. Okay. No. Oh my God. Did that just turn us off?
No, you're fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I just don't see you. Well, as long as you can see, it's still me.
Oh, I can see you. Oh, that's a bummer. Well, it looks like we have one person. We have one person who has joined us. So I'm not sure. Hello. If you would like to ask any questions, type them up in the comments, and we'll do our best to answer. Otherwise, we're just going to sit here and bullshit since she's driving. And
it's a good time. You know, I mean, I'm listening to the most amazing zombie series. Like, it's the third time I've listened to this book. It's 5 books in the series. And it's one of my favorites when it comes to, like, fun books. It's called White Trash Zombie.
Ooh, okay.
And there's 5 books in it, and they're not like the zombies that, well, you know, like walking around like zombies. They live like people as long as they have access to brains. So Anna, and she has that accent. I listened to it like 5 times, I think. 3 or 5 times. I don't know.
Where are you currently? Where are you?
I'm in Royce City.
Okay, so Royce City. For future witch talk, we need to know Royce City has shitty reception.
It does. And there's a part after this that drops my calls.
Okay, so you sounded like a robot a little bit, and it kind of cut out a bit. So Royce City, not a good spot. So, you know, maybe it's a good break time for about 3 minutes, because Royce City isn't very big, is it?
I mean, it's a bigger city, but to get through it, maybe 5 minutes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. It's where Buc-ee's is.
It's where what?
Buc-ee's.
What's Buc-ee's?
It's the most fantastic gas station in the whole U.S. of A. It's like a Walmart of gas stations. I love Buc-ee's.
Is it like one of those truck stop gas stations then?
It could be. They have places for trucks to get gas, but it just has every literal snack you can think of, every candy, every food, every drink. It has all the things. All the things.
We have those in Washington State where we are. I think it's Washington. Well, when we travel around, it's hard because we've traveled all over, but there's a Sinclair truck stop, and then there's the Flying J truck stop. Flying J is the one that's in Washington State that I'm aware of. And I love going in there because you can find souvenirs. You could take a shower if you've been on the road a long time. I think it's like $1.50 or $5. Really depends on what state you're in. Take a shower there. You can get hot food. They usually have a Subway, and I don't know. They're great. I love them. And they open.
Have Flying J's down here too.
Oh, they do. Okay. Yeah, when we've been on tour, we've had to stop, and we always try and stop at the larger stations because with as many people as we have on the bus, You can't just go to a gas station because everybody has a different want, you know? So we try and stop
Yeah.
at truck stops.
Y'all need a Buc-ee's up there.
I think we do.
They have all that. Well, they don't have the showers, but they have the most private bathrooms, like, and the cleanest bathroom. There's people waiting outside in the bathrooms, like outside your stalls, with the cleaning products. Every time someone walks out, it's instantly clean.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's the cleanest bathroom. It's cleaner than our bathrooms at home, I'm telling you. Yeah, and they have like all the beef jerkies. They have hot foods and fudges. I mean, if you name it, they have it.
See, that sounds fun. Yeah, we've met some pretty cool people at 3 o'clock in the morning at a truck stop. In fact, I think we were in Vegas, and we made it to this small gas station, as a matter of fact. And we all, of course, went in, and it was after a show, so we were still all made up, and we looked like a bunch of weirdos. But we were heading to another gig, and we had a chance to talk to some people. And they ended up, when they got off work, they came to the show. So we've made some, and ended up, we're still in contact with some of those folks. So I don't know, you meet cool people all over the place.
Yeah, it's like when you go fishing, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, it's the same kind of people that are up 3 o'clock in the morning with you, are your kind of people. The kind of people you go fishing with, those are your kind of people. Like, those are your people, so you're going to connect with them, and that's very cool.
How was fishing, anyways, on yesterday? Was it It was Saturday. How was fishing?
It was Saturday, yeah. I didn't put a pole, and I didn't end up putting a pole in the water because it's just so beautiful. I just sit back in my chair, and I hung out with my mom and everybody else, because there was a bunch of people there we hadn't met before, but then it felt like we knew them forever.
Cool.
And so we just chilled, and it was really cool because it's been hot.
Yeah.
But it was really nice to sit right off the water. The breeze was very cool, and I didn't sweat. It was fun. I enjoyed the relaxation.
Nice. Yeah, today, okay, we were talking about the weather just the other day. Today it's hot. I don't know what the temperature is out there, but it's freaking hot. By 11:30, I brought maybe it was even noon, I brought my laptop in because I usually work on the back patio outside. My laptop was overheating. It was just too hot out there. I had to.
When does it start getting cool there? Like, when do y'all start cooling off?
I would say the nights start getting cooler mid-September. Well, it's an arc. So it leads up to massive heat and then tapers off. There's never really a point where it's cool now. But mid-September, it starts getting cooler. The days don't get as hot. By October 1st, we're really down in the 70s, and the nights are down into the low 40s. So really, October is when things really start getting chilly. And sometimes you'll get snow in October. Sometimes you'll have a 80-degree day in October. It's Spokane. There's a big joke going on here that if you live in Spokane and you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes because it'll change.
Yeah. That's nice. Whenever I was younger, my Halloween, we would have to wear a jacket with our costumes, but it ain't like that no more. It's still hot.
Well, you grew up about the same time I did. I'm a bit older than you. I think I'm 5 years older than you, but Halloween, we used to be able to wear costumes and go trick-or-treating. And people aren't doing that anymore.
No, I mean, we would get bags and bags of candy. Like, it was a mission. Yeah, it was. And you know, back then people would leave those on the porches and stuff that says "Take one candy," and we took one. We didn't pour the bowl into our bag. We took one.
See, I can't even, around where we live, I can't even decorate for Halloween because my stuff will be stolen. My pumpkins will be smashed. So I don't decorate out front. I decorate inside and the backyard because it's just not, I don't know. I don't know what it is. People are just awful. I had my Christmas decorations stolen. I guess it's been about 12 years now, and I haven't decorated outside for Christmas since. So people can just be icky.
Yeah, I get that. But you have your backyard.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
that's nice.
Oh yeah. And we go all out. We have a great time. So.
Yeah. When we lived in Garland, where we just moved from, we would decorate the porch, but we wouldn't take it all the way out into the yard
Mm.
because we lived by the middle school,
Mm-hmm.
and the kids would walk by, and you know, kids are just terrors these days. I don't know what's happening.
I know.
Like, it's so different. Like working, managing apartment complexes, the amount of kids and teenagers I see being disrespectful to everybody, including the parents, to us, toward all the adults. It was just like, I was a bad kid, but there was certain boundaries I wouldn't cross just because I didn't know respect.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
different.
It's very different now. I guess maybe the expectations of respect are different. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is, or it just doesn't exist. It's a very strange thing. But when I've talked to Zach about this stuff, he said, he keeps telling me, he's like, well, sweetheart, times are different now, and you're sounding like an old person.
Yeah, and I know I am, because I remember hearing my grandma saying these things when I was little. And
yeah.
So I know that's a fact.
Well, he's funny. You know, you're sounding like an old person. He's like, try to be, you know, move with the times. Try and be open to the differences. And I'm like, of course, I'm back there. I'm like, F that. No, I'm not a wanna. This is dumb.
I just can't get down with some of the disrespect that I've seen happen just for the entitlement and the things that I see and a lot of people. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't get down with that. It's just like, and just the rude people. Like my husband, I know he probably dreads going anywhere with me to the stores, because if I see someone being mean to the people that work there, I don't stay quiet, because I'm like, okay, now you can come at me because I don't work here. I can't get fired. So let's do this. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because Zach
everywhere.
Zach goes with me too, and he'll see something building, or he'll see something, and then he'll watch me, and he knows that I'm seeing it, and he'll nudge me and go, "Wife, don't." What?
Now, my husband will roll his eyes, or he just gets ready to stand there, because he always stands behind me to make sure that nobody really messes with me, so that I don't get a lot of maybe a guy on me or whatever. But
right.
I'm just like, I can't understand the amount of rudeness that people are to people who are working, hardworking people, and then you're just gonna be rude to be rude. Yeah, me and my friend Flo at work, it wasn't 2 months ago that we almost got into a fight at Michael's. there was a lady in there, and she brought in a notebook. She set the notebook down with all the stuff she was buying at the register.
What?
So the guy took the notebook and tried to scan it, and it wouldn't scan. She starts yelling at him, "I didn't effing get that from here. Why don't you stop trying to scan stuff that don't belong to y'all?" And I'm just like, and I'm one register away from her. There's one in the middle of us. And I'm looking at Flo.
You see tequila's head pop up. You're like, what?
Yeah, and I'm looking at Flo. I was like, we're not going to make it out of here with my stuff. We're not going to make it out of here with my stuff. I'm telling you, she needs to calm down and leave him alone. And he was so nice. It was a cute little young guy.
Oh.
And she just kept on. And then she started cussing. And then that's when I turned around and I said, "You're going to stop being rude to him." And then on her way out, Flo moved the buggy to a direction that pissed the lady off. So she turned and then spoke to me. And then it was over. It was over. If it wasn't for the buggy there, she was just going off. And then on her way out, after she's done cussed everybody else, she tells me, she says, "God bless you." I said, "No, bitch, you keep that God bless you yourself, because God don't like ugly, and you're not going to bless me with your ugliness." And then and she walked out, and then she sent me the peace sign. I flipped her off, and and she's still in the parking lot when I go to the car, and she stands up. I turn around and say, I wish you would. I really wish you would. Please. She just sat back down. I don't know. I guess she was waiting for an Uber or something. I feel sorry for the Uber. I'm just like, lady, you're in Michael's. You put a notebook down with your stuff. Of course he's going to pick it up to scan it.
Oh my God, sorry.
I'm just a horrible human being.
You made me laugh so hard I cried.
That's just one example. I can't stand to see people be mean to hardworking people. I just can't.
Yeah.
I get yelled at all the time, so I can't stand to see it happen to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you're a property manager, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You manage
could be real
property? Yeah.
Yeah. The property I'm on right now is about 400 units. So we have a couple thousand people there.
Mm-hmm.
And you really get to know people whenever you work, they live.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people are something else. And we do our job. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. But when they don't, my biggest thing is when they don't pay their rent, if we send them a note and they're mad at us.
Right? Okay. Yeah. So I was, I think I told you, but I was in real estate for years. I retired from real estate in 2017 after almost 22 years. And I was commercial property manager for, I used to work in San Francisco, but I worked in commercials. So it was not multifamily, but it was a commercial. It sounds like you're multifamily, right? Yeah. And you get some wonderful people, amazing folks, and then you get terrible people.
Yep.
So yeah, frustrating.
You get the ones that you love and that you miss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whenever you go work somewhere else, and then you got the other ones that are like,
Yeah. You're cutting out again. Just not a big deal. Nobody's with us, but I was letting you know wherever you are now.
I don't understand it. I really don't.
Where are you now?
Surprise. I'm actually about to be in Campbell, but I'm surprised that back there before the last time we cut off in Royce City, we went over 2 bridges of water, and I usually lose signal there, and I didn't today. So.
Oh yeah, there was only 2 losses, I think, on this. There was Royce and just now.
Okay.
I think.
The only one that you told me about was Royce and then this one.
Yep.
So I don't know if there was any more. I might have to go back and rewatch this and see where we cut out at.
Yeah.
I could kind of tell we are from the time on the video.
Yeah, it's 4 o'clock. So you've been driving for an hour.
Yep.
Ish.
But it's not bad because usually I'm about 10 miles from home now. But it's usually I don't get home until 6:30.
Wow.
So I actually am 15 minutes earlier than usual today. So that's the town. Maybe people are out of town.
Excellent. Yeah, that could be. Or it could be, the thing that I got where I never go without a parking spot, and I never hardly ever get stuck in traffic either.
Man, don't tell me that because I'm going to have to bug you every time I'm in traffic. Like, look, I don't know what you're doing, but I need you to stop on the phone with me now.
You're like, damn it, I'm stuck in a parking lot and I need a place to park. Call Monique.
Right. Yep.
So I have to tell you a little story. All of our cars have an enchantment object in them. They always have. And there's been different ones for each car. There's something different. This most recent, we just got a GMC Envoy. We bought in March. And this vehicle, the focus on this one felt like I just needed to make it very visible and slippery. I don't know why. So that's what I did for it. So if it were ever when it's driving, it's never going to be invisible. Everyone will see it. It's a silver envoy, so it blends with everything, but I made it more visible. And then I made it slippery. So if it were ever in a circumstance where Tony B says, "Hi, guys." Hi, Tony.
Hi. Hello.
I made it so that whenever there was, if he were ever in an accident situation, he would slide right through. And that's exactly what happened last week. So he doesn't know how he did it, but he slalomed through an accident and got out of it and was able to, keep from getting hit.
But you know exactly how he did it. There's no wondering. It just is what it is.
He said, "I watched it transpire. I watched it build in front of me, and I looked in my rearview mirror, and I saw the people behind me, and I was just able to go whoop, whoop, whoop out of it." I said, "So kind of slippery then?" And he went, "Yeah."
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and when it comes to that, I always go with, I don't know, whatever it feels like that car needs. And it seems like that's what that car needed. All of our other cars have always needed, invisibility, or, these are not the droids you're looking for.
And this one, you needed it to be
I needed
slippery and safe.
opposite. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
Tony
get
B.
that.
Tony B would like to know if you've ever dabbled in black magic.
Well, for me, magic doesn't really have a color. I know that it's easier to explain it by calling it black or white, but like for example, if I go at somebody who has caused harm to my family, I don't consider that black because I'm protecting my family. But someone else would see me doing this curse or this whatever, and they would say, "Oh, she's doing black magic." From the outside, that's what it looks like. So I don't really think that for me anyway, there's no color on it because there's a reason I do everything that I do. But some people might frown on some of the things that I do.
Well, I have to agree, because to me, when it comes to magical practice, it's all energy. So energy doesn't have a focus. Energy doesn't have a color or anything like that. It really comes from the practitioner themselves. And we lost you again, my love. If you're doing some type of working as for protection or that sort of thing, and you're wanting to protect your family, some people may consider that black magic. I wouldn't either. Are you there?
Can you see me now?
I can see you now.
I can hear you the whole time.
Okay. So Tony says, "I'll take that as a yes."
See, that's fine. I accept it. It's like the doll baby I made on the maintenance guide.
Yeah.
That I would have used had he affected my job, because my job feeds and houses my children. Mm-hmm. You're not going to do anything to my job when I'm not doing anything wrong. Mm-hmm. I accept when I do things wrong. Mm-hmm. I get that. I take it and I know what I'm going to get. But when I'm not doing anything wrong, and I didn't do anything wrong, he was completely wrong. So people would consider that as black as well, the people who do put color on it.
Well, there's I've heard in some interviews, individuals consider love spells black magic, which is funny, because, or attraction spells are black magic when it comes to other individuals, because they feel it takes their free will out of it. So
different kinds of love spells and attraction spells, so you got the ones where you focus on one person and you take that person. Mm-hmm. I don't believe in that kind of thing. But then there's love spells that just it puts that energy out there to help you find your mates. It just kind of lets your energy fly out more, because there's so many people that we blend. So you gotta have a little bit more energy around you to be like, "Oh, I need some love," Come on. So there are different types of love spells and things like that. I do think that love spells are okay. I don't think that it's okay for me. I wouldn't do it. Actually, focus on one person and make them want me. because it's not real. So I don't want
Right. Right. Well, could you imagine the work, the upkeep later on? My goodness, that would have to be a spell that the work gets into it every day. That would suck.
Yeah. Yeah, I shared a story about a lady who did that, and she had
Oh,
to continuously feed her
yeah.
man. And when he was away for a few weeks, he had no desire to be with her.
Yeah.
None
Yeah.
at all. But she got him to come over for dinner with the
Uh-huh.
kids, and he never
Oh,
left again. He
uh-huh.
never left
I
again.
know what she fed him. So Tony B says, have you ever taken part in a sacrifice? And you're chewing ice. I can hear it.
Okay. Yes, I have.
Well,
And
you
I've
know
shared
what's
that on my channel. My grandma used to, she used to sacrifice the farm animals and stuff. She would do mostly chickens and stuff like that. And it's something that I don't do now, but I have done. And I don't really judge people for how they do their practice, you know?
Mhm.
And if my great grandmother was still alive, I guarantee she still would be spinning those chickens' necks and doing the same thing.
Yep. Sounds like my grandma. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, and as far as me, when it comes to sacrifice, it doesn't have to be, when it comes to making a sacrifice, which is something that I will do even to this day. But it doesn't, for me, it doesn't have to be a living thing.
True.
Anything that is meaningful to me, that has a lot of meaning to me, when I give that up, that is a sacrifice. Um,
Because I still use my blood in my magic, which is also considered a sacrifice.
mhm. Yeah, I do too,
I used
depending
to
on,
work with certain beings that required certain things
yeah,
of me. And, it's
right.
just, it is what it was. I'm not ashamed of anything I've ever done or gone through. I'm very
Hmm.
proud of the person I am now.
Yeah, you know, I put a lot of work in, and I kind of like who I am now. Not every day,
Yeah,
but most
yeah.
days. So he would like to know, what do you receive in return? Power?
Well, it just depends on what you're doing.
Hmm.
Now, there was a certain, we're going to call it a being that I work with. And yeah, I got things in return, and I would have to pay with certain things. So it just depends on what you're working with
Hmm.
and what they require and what you're asking for.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know if he's a subscriber of mine or if he's a subscriber of yours, but
I don't know.
I've
I don't recognize.
always discussed it. I've always discussed it on my channel. Like, I mean, I've been there for like 12 years. So I have everything from when I was really, really that person, and my
Hmm.
growth and who I am today. It's way
Hmm.
different than who I used to be.
Yeah. See, and I don't know. I'm a totally different person than I used to be as well. I'm happier. Um, I don't know, more fulfilled with my life. So it doesn't mean I do any less work. It's got a different focus.
Yeah, it's just
It's
different
different.
now.
Yeah. So I don't know. I do get something in return. It depends on what it is you're looking for to begin with. And it depends on what type of
Yeah.
working you're doing. I mean, are you doing packs? Are you doing exchange in energy? You know, it just,
What's real funny is that now that I don't do the animal situations and things that I used to do, I still get the same stuff. Like, there's not a difference in the amount of power
mhm.
that I get or receive now than it was. It's just what I was working with at the time is what was required. And that's something you have to think about, when you're asking certain, we're going to go with beings again, because there's all
Right,
kinds of titles for everything.
right.
Uh, there's certain ones that require certain things.
Well,
And if it's not what you're down for, then you need to move on to another.
it's a partnership. That's just it. I mean, some partnerships, they just want a handshake. Other partnerships, they want to get paid, you know,
Yeah.
and it depends.
Yes.
You, girl, are 20 minutes early.
I am. I'm so happy.
Well,
I'm 20 minutes early.
we should probably wrap this up because we've been on for 55 minutes, and try again. And next time, let's go from your channel.
Okay, thank you. I had fun. And Tony was the name?
Tony B. Yes.
Tony B. Those were really good questions.
Yeah,
So
they
if you
were.
want to
Thank you.
hit up Lady Gravedancer and come in with some questions, those were good.
Yeah, I would love to hear more from Tony B. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
enjoyed
love,
that.
for letting me join you on your drive, and hopefully maybe we can do this again tomorrow.
I didn't hit traffic, so yeah.
All right,
Thank
love.
you. All right.
Bye, honey.
Bye.